All right, we've made it through week 2. We've explored 6 incredible mysteries, and I have been digging deep into every single one of them. And you know what? It all boils down to one question. How close are we, really, to an answer?
Just think about what we've seen. We talked about Atlantis, Plato's legendary lost island, the Indus Valley, a civilization of 5 million people that just walked away from their cities. We looked at the Bronze Age collapse, a time when it felt like the entire world fell apart at once. We explored Gobekli Tepe, a temple so old it rewrites our history books, built thousands of years before even Stonehenge. Then there were the Nazca Lines, those enormous drawings in the desert you can only truly see from the sky. And finally, the Yonaguni Monument, that possible sunken city off the coast of Japan. So today, we're going to rank them, from the mystery that might stay a mystery forever to the one I genuinely believe we could solve in our lifetimes.
Okay, so before we jump into the countdown, we need to be really clear on the rules of the game here. This isn't about which mystery is the most famous or the one you've heard about the most. No, this is a ranking of solvability, and I'm basing it on just 2 things. First, how good is the physical evidence we can actually touch and analyze? And second, what's the momentum like? Is anyone still actively looking, or has the trail gone cold? It's all about progress. Which mystery is heating up, and which one is basically on ice? So, with that framework locked in, let's kick off the countdown right at the very bottom of the list. Coming in at number 6, the mystery with what I'm calling the coldest trail of all is the Yonaguni Monument. Now, here's the crazy thing about why Yonaguni is last. It's not because it's impossible to solve. Actually, it's the exact opposite. We have the technology right now, high-res sonar, core sampling, you name it, to figure out once and for all if it's man-made or natural. The problem? Nobody's doing it. Japan's Agency for Cultural Affairs basically said, case closed, it's natural, and that pretty much shut down any serious funding for a real in-depth survey. So you have to understand this. Yonaguni isn't unsolved because we lack the clues. It's unsolved by choice. The trail is cold because of paperwork and bureaucracy, not because of the mystery itself. Okay, so from a case that's stalled because of inaction, we move to one that's stalled for a totally different reason. Coming in at number 5. At number 5, it's the Nazca Lines in Peru. And this one is what I'm calling the interpretive mystery. So the Nazca Lines get a higher spot than Yonaguni because there is some real momentum here. The whole idea that they were part of these huge water rituals is gaining a lot of ground. And get this, in just the last few years, AI has helped us find hundreds of new figures. That is a huge step forward. But, and this is the big one, the Nazca people left us no writing. Not a single word. No key to the map, no caption for the pictures. So while we can make some really smart guesses about why they made them, we may have hit a wall. Without the creators telling us their purpose, the ultimate meaning might just always be up for debate. All right, let's climb the ladder now, right into the middle of our ranking, to number 4. At number 4 is the Indus Valley Civilization, a story where we can see how it ends, but we still can't read the first chapter. This one is just fascinating because we're solving 2 of its biggest mysteries at an amazing pace. First, why did this massive civilization collapse? Well, new climate models are pointing to a huge climate shift, a change in the monsoons that wrecked their farming. And second, who were these people? A huge DNA study back in 2019 gave us some incredible answers about their ancestry. But then there's the third mystery, the wall we just keep smashing into, the Indus script. It's this writing system with over 400 symbols, and for 100 years, nobody has been able to crack it. It's a total enigma. And this just perfectly sums up the tragic situation with the Indus Valley people. Because of modern science, we are absolutely going to figure out the physical story of what happened to them. We can study their bones, we can model their weather, but without their writing, we may never understand what they thought, what they believed in, what they were afraid of, what they even called themselves. We have the end of their story, but their own voice is gone. Okay, we are now in the top half of the list. These are the cases where things are really starting to heat up. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is Gobekli Tepe, a mystery that is literally being dug out of the ground as we speak. This is the active dig. Gobekli Tepe lands at number 3 simply because it has more raw research momentum than anything else we've talked about. This is an active dig site. Every single year they find new things. And what's really crucial is that we're finding other sites nearby, like Harahan Tepe, that are showing us this was a whole culture, not just one weird temple. The head archaeologist there thinks they've got another 50 years of work. Easy. The ground is still talking. The challenge, though, is immense. They've only excavated about 5% of the main site. And, just like Nazca, these people were pre-literate. So even though the leading theory is that this was the world's first temple, a place that sparked civilization, it's incredibly hard to prove the specific beliefs of a people who couldn't write them down. Only 2 mysteries left. A runner-up is a case that a lot of historians basically consider closed. Number 2. At number 2, we have the Bronze Age collapse. And this one's different. The mystery isn't a single place, it's a global event. And believe it or not, we're actually getting really close to a consensus on what happened. The late Bronze Age collapse is ranked so high because for a lot of the experts, it's pretty much solved in theory. The leading explanation is this idea of a systems collapse. It wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just an earthquake or an invasion of the sea peoples. It was a perfect storm. It was a chain reaction, probably kicked off by a massive long-term drought, which we have tons of climate data to support. That drought leads to famine, which leads to people migrating and fighting over resources, which breaks all the trade routes, and the whole interconnected world just comes crashing down. Now, because it was so many things at once, there's no single smoking gun to find. And that's its only real weakness. But honestly, it is by far the best understood mystery on this list. Which, of course, brings us to number 1. We've seen an investigation that's stalled, mysteries that are stuck in interpretation, scripts we can't read, and systems that are incredibly complex. So what's left? Which of these mysteries has the clearest, most direct path to a final, definitive answer? The number 1 most solvable ancient mystery on our list is, that's right, Atlantis. Now, hold on. I know this is probably the most controversial pick of the day, so let me be crystal clear. I am not saying it's the most proven. I am saying it is the most provable. It is the most solvable. Here's the case. Just follow the logic step by step. Atlantis is the only mystery on this list that gives us a specific physical claim we can actually go out and test. Step 1, Plato gave us a location, in the Atlantic, just beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Step 2, he described it sinking in a catastrophe, which lines up perfectly with a real geological event, the massive sea level rise when the last ice age ended. Step 3, we have a specific physical candidate that matches the description, a sunken island called Spartlebank, sitting right there outside the Strait of Gibraltar. In step 4, we have the technology to go there and look. See, here's the key difference. Solving the Indus script could take another 100 years. Excavating Gobekli Tepe will take decades. Solving Atlantis just takes a boat, a sonar system, and the decision to go and do one comprehensive survey. It's a straightforward, physical question that's just waiting for an answer. And, when you take a step back and look at all 6 of these mysteries together, a really powerful theme emerges. Every single one of them, when you get right down to it, has a writing problem. For Atlantis, we have Plato's super detailed account, but no other ancient text to back it up. The Indus Valley has those 400 symbols we can't read. The Bronze Age collapse left us letters from kings begging for help baked in the fires of their burning cities, but no text explaining how the whole crisis started. And Gobekli Tepe, Nazca, and maybe even Yonaguni. They all came before writing. The stones are there, the physical evidence is there, we just can't hear the voices of the people who made them. So that brings me to the big question for you. Do you agree with my number 1 pick? Do you think Atlantis is really the most solvable mystery on this list, that we're just one good sonar survey away from a potential answer? Or is there another mystery we looked at that you think is even closer to being solved? Maybe there's evidence I overlooked or a new development I didn't give enough weight to. I want to hear from you. Tell me your number 1 and tell me why down in the comments.